So how do I move scenes or banks from someone else's backup into my backup? So let me show you. So here I've inserted my USB, which contains my backup as well as Richard Noel's backup. I can go ahead up to the Korg menu and I'm going to go into Dual Tree and I'm going to select my backup. So this is the backup of my current Korg Fisa Suprema, and I'm going to go ahead and select that as the first item, and then I'm going to pick a second backup to open. In this case, I'll pick Richard Noel's. So I'll say OK. So now on the left I have my backup, on the right I have Richard's backup, and let's say that I don't want to mess up anything in the first let's say 20 scenes on mine. So I may want to start down here at 21, and I can go over to Richard's, and I could, for example, take a scene one at a time, and I can move it over into any position that I want over in my backup, as you can see like I'm doing now. If you make a mistake, you can just press undo, and it'll undo each of those changes. I can also take an entire bank and I can move it over into a different position. So here, if I select bank 2, I could move the whole bank over to bank 21, and you'll see that it took all those scenes, all 6 of them, and moved it from Richard's backup over into my backup. And that's from Richard's bank 2 over to my bank 21. I could do that with any scene or bank from either backup, and the moves are bidirectional. I could even go the other way and drag something from my backup over into Richard's backup, for example. So it's completely flexible and allows you to move scenes or banks back and forth. You can also select multiple scenes selectively. So here, if I wanted to select, let's say, swing, in the mood, trombone, and piano, or these 3, I can go ahead and highlight the 3 of them, and then I can take that and I can drop that somewhere. So maybe I want that to be in D, E, and F in bank 15. So I will go ahead and let go, and you'll see that those scenes, this bank 8 of A, B, and C of Richard's backups, I moved over to bank 15 in positions D, E, and F on my backup. So as you can see, it's incredibly flexible and very nice. The other thing that you can do quickly is sometimes when you move scenes from one place to another, you want to be able to empty or mark as empty those scenes so that you know that you can use those positions later. So let's say that, for example, I want to go ahead and move from bank 16. I want to move, let's just say, this one scene over to Richard's. Well, if I go down here and I click empty after copy, what will happen is after I move this over, bank 16, scene A, will be marked as empty. So I'm going to go ahead and take that, move that over here to bank 9, scene A, which you'll see occurred, but look what happened over in bank 16. It became empty. And so that allows you now to move things around and know where then you've freed up spots to be able to put something else. If you select swap, for example, then you have the ability to actually exchange banks or scenes between the 2 backups. So let's go ahead and let me show you. If I take, we'll start on this side. If I take swing in the mood in bank 8, and I move it over here to bank 16, rock, organ, sax, what will happen is the swing in the mood will move over to bank 16, but the rock, organ, sax will move back over into Richard's backup into position A. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to go ahead and pull that over to here. I'm going to let go, and you'll see in the mood, swing in the mood went over to my backup, and then what was in here, which was, I forgot now, I think it was swing trombone. No, it was rock, organ, sax, moved over here. Let me do it again and show you. So if I go ahead and take the organ from here, I'm going to move it over into strings in position scene F. You'll see that the original accordion strings that was here moved over to bank 8, scene F, and the swing organ that was in bank 8, scene F moved over here to bank 16. So essentially, it's just doing a swap. Whatever's on the left or the right, whenever you make that move, the two interchange. And of course, sync scrolling ensures that when you scroll through the list, the two trees scroll in sync with each other so that you don't have to independently move them. If it's off, of course, then you have independent control and you can move one down or one up. For example, I can move this down here to bank 91. I can move this one up here to bank 13. And I could take my phantom oboe, I can move it over here into an empty spot, and you'll see that the scrolling occurs independently. Expand and collapse all expands or collapses the trees. So if I collapse a tree, I will see just the banks, right? If I expand all, then I will see the banks with their included scenes. You can only drag banks to banks, and you can only drag scenes to scenes. You cannot, at this point, intermix them. And then the final thing that you can do, which is kind of cool, is you can go ahead and you can say print. And when you say print, it'll ask you which tree, the left or right. I'll go ahead and pick the left tree. And when I do that, it asks you, do you want to print all the banks or do you want a certain range? And so if I limited the range to 3 or 4 banks, it would only print those 4. I'll just do them all to show you what happens. And if I say OK, you'll see that I get this very nice layout that can be printed. Shows you everything that's on your accordion, each bank and each scene by name with the backup name up here at the very top. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. There's portrait and landscape, as you can see here, right? And then there's a print icon if you want to print it to PDF or if you want to print it to your printer.